What? Very good morning to one and all. At the outset, I would like to introduce myself. I am Gvrmurthy. I am working as lecturer in soft skills in Aditya Degree College for Women, Kakinada. I did my BE Metallurgy Engineering and Material Science from AU College of Engineering, Vishakhapatnam. I did my postgraduate diploma in Communication Soft Skills from Githam University. I showed my ELTA certification from IFRO Hyderabad, BEC certification from British Council Chennai, and HITS certification from Wipro Mission Tennex Bangalore. Very recently, I have been awarded a gold medal and a silver medal from IIT Madras for my excellent performance in NPTEL English Language for Counted Examinations and NPTEL Technical English for Engineers. I started my teaching career in 1999. In the last 20 years of my teaching career, I have taken thousands of English classes for several competitive examinations such as GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, GMAT, Cambridge Sol, CAT, MAT, Campus Recruitment Training, ISET, BANKS, RRB, Staff Selection Commission, LIC, GATE, IES, PSUs, CDS, and NDA examinations. Since the beginning of my career, I have got a plethora of opportunities to address the students of graduation, post-graduation, engineering, MBA, MCA, nursing, pharma, and the students of several competitive examinations. Today, it's my immense pleasure to stand before you on this occasion to speak a few words about the significance of functional grammar. Grammar is a branch of science which mainly deals with the study of the construction of a sentence. If you have good knowledge of grammar, you will be able to compose a sentence very effectively. If you have a strong mastery of English grammar, you will be able to speak well and write well. Definitely, I can say that an adequate mastery over English grammar certainly helps us to be able to speak and write very effectively to meet the requirements of the today's competitive world. Besides the academic examinations, competitive examinations also require an adequate mastery of English grammar. Before I talk about the different elements of English grammar, I would like to tell you what are the different competitive examinations conducted in India. Several examinations which are conducted in India include GRE, TOEFL, IELTS, GMAT, Cambridge Sol, CAT, MAT, Campus Recruitment Training, ISET, BANKS, RRB, Staff Selection Commission, LIC, CDS, NDA, GATE, IES, PSUs, UPSC, and State Level Public Service Commission examinations. If you take any competitive examination where English is included as a compulsory part of selection, functional grammar certainly plays a very major and important role. Definitely, I can say that the linguistic competence of a person can certainly be developed with the knowledge of functional grammar. Now, I would like to talk about what are the different elements of functional grammar. Number one, parts of speech. Parts of speech refer to the different individual words which perform different functions in a sentence. If you know the knowledge of parts of speech, you will be able to construct a perfect and a flawless sentence in English. So definitely we can say that parts of speech is the first important element of functional grammar. The next one is subject and verb agreement. This is the most important part. It's a well-known fact that if you want to construct any good sentence of English, we require two important elements. They are subject and verb. Subject is a word about which a sentence is spoken, and a verb is a word which indicates the action of the subject. In any sentence form, if you want to frame any good sentence in English, our subject must always agree with the verb and a verb must always agree with the subject. In this context, the students have to identify the basic elements such as what is the meaning of a noun, what is the classification of a noun, and what is the count noun and what is the non-count noun, what are the differences between a count noun and non-count noun, how to change a count noun into a non-count noun and vice versa, what are the quantifiers and their applications, how does a same noun function as both count and non-count noun, and nouns which function different ways with respect to the meanings conveyed with them. Because when a noun is used in singular, it conveys one kind of meaning. When the same noun is used as plural, it conveys another kind of meaning. And next category is nouns and number. There are some nouns in English, they are always used in singular form. There are some nouns in English, they are always used in the plural form. There are some nouns in English, they function as both singular and plural. And what is the meaning of connectors and their applications? So this kind of topics are entirely dealt with in the areas of subject and verb agreement. The next topic is articles, very very important topic. Articles indicate the nuances of application. When a noun is used with the article, it conveys one kind of meaning. When a noun is not used with article, it conveys another kind of meaning. So articles are very very vital in functional grammar. Next topic is prepositions, very important one. In the prepositions topic, a word is given to you and the student is required to choose a correct preposition which is followed after the particular given word. For example, I take the word called abound, abound. This word can be followed with the two kinds of prepositions, abound in and abound with. Abound in meaning is different, abound with meaning is different. The next one is conjunction, connectors. Conjunction is the most important part of the language because in fact when you want to talk about the structure of any sentence form, depending on the type of the conjunction, the structure of the sentence is entirely determined. The next one is tenses, time determinants I can say. Tense indicates the time of an action. There are many kinds of tenses are there, right? So in this part of functional grammar, tenses occupy a major role. Because if you use one verb in English language, for example, I take a word called write, write. If I take the word write, if I use the write in 12 different tenses, the same sentence conveys 12 different types of meanings. Therefore, I can definitely say that the knowledge of English grammar is entirely determined by our knowledge of tenses. So in the tenses topic, a particular verb is given and the student is required to identify the correct tense form of the verb given in the brackets. That's a very, very important part. The next topic is auxiliaries. Right? What is the meaning of auxiliary? Auxiliaries are also known as helping verbs. Auxiliaries are always used before the main verbs. If you keep on changing the auxiliary verb, the meaning conveyed by the sentence also changes. For example, I take the word called write, write. If I add the word will write, the meaning is different. Shall write, the meaning is different. Can write, the meaning is different. Could write, meaning is different. May write, meaning is different. Might write, meaning is different. Ought to write, meaning is different. Need to write, meaning is different. Must write, meaning is different. So what is that? With the change of the auxiliary verb, the meaning of the sentence entirely changes. Therefore, I can say that auxiliaries talk about the different themes of the sentences. What are the various themes conveyed by the sentences that is entirely determined by the use of an auxiliary verb before a main verb. Next one is correction of sentences. Very, very important. If you take any of the aforesaid examinations, correction of sentences is a major area. Correction of sentences is nothing but the application of all the aforesaid topics. If a candidate has to be good at correcting a sentence, he must have the complete knowledge of the parts of speech, subject-verb agreement, articles, prepositions, conjunctions, tenses, and auxiliaries. Without the knowledge of these particular areas, we can never make an attempt to correct a sentence in the right way. Another major important area is structure or sentence improvement. If you take a majority of bank, RRB, SSC, and LIC, CDS, and NDA examinations, a longer sentence is given to you. That sentence is divided into two parts. One part of the sentence is correct, and the remaining part of the sentence is wrong. In order to replace the wrong part of the sentence, 4 to 5 options are given against each sentence. The candidate is required to examine the options very clearly and identify what appropriate option has to be chosen so that the given sentence can be corrected without having any grammatical errors. That part is also a very, very important one. Another thing is analysis. Analysis means division of a sentence into different kinds of clauses. When you go into analysis, there are major things like main clause or principal clause, subordinate clauses, noun clauses, adjective clauses, and adverb clauses. The knowledge of clauses is very, very important in order to find out the defects and flaws in a sentence. Next one is synthesis. Synthesis is exactly the opposite process of analysis, the combination of two or more than two different sentences into a single sentence. I can definitely say that the knowledge of analysis and synthesis occupies a prominent role in functional grammar. There is no doubt of saying that. Because when you want to construct or speak or when you want to write a good sentence, your ability to analyze the sentence and your ability to synthesize the sentence certainly makes a big difference in deciding your proficiency of English language. The next important topic is idioms. Idioms are nothing but the special uses. For example, you take the word to let a cat out of a bag. It means to reveal a secret. To bell the cat means to take a risk. Right? There are many kinds of idioms and phrases are there. Next one is phrasal verbs. This is the most important part. A phrasal verb is nothing but the combination of a verb and a preposition. In this structure, the verb part always remains a constant and the preposition part keeps on changing. With the change of the preposition which is added after the verb, the meaning of the sentence also changes. Phrasal verbs are the most important part. For example, I take the verb call, call. Now I add different types of prepositions like call on, call at, call for, call off, call in, call into, call out, call over, call down, call out, call upon. Very, very important. Each phrasal verb has got its own application and meaning. So definitely we can say that our knowledge of these things is very, very vital. And apart from that, there is another important topic called conversation skills. Very, very important topic from the point of view of a majority of sentences. Because conversation skills are divided into two different areas, statements. We may also call it statements. Regarding the statements, some of the statements are used in spoken communication and some of the statements are used in written communication. For example, if I want to take their permission, I can use a word, may I get in, sir? If I use the word may I get in, this statement is used in spoken language. But when you want to write a letter to take the permission of other person, this kind of language cannot be used. You have to use the sentence like this. I request you to be kind enough to grant me the permission to do something. Or I shall be highly obliged to you if I could be permitted to do something. So these kind of statements are entirely different. So whenever you want to talk about the topic of statements part, the statement that you use for the purpose of speaking is entirely different from the one which you use for the purpose of writing. So whenever you want to talk about the topic of statements, the statements for the purpose of speaking and the statements for the purpose of writing must be very clearly distinguished. So far we have had a detailed discussion about parts of speech, subject-verb agreement, articles, prepositions, conjunctions, tenses, auxiliaries, errors, sentence improvement, idioms and phrases, phrasal verbs, and conversation skills. These are the major important parts of functional grammar. Definitely, I can say that if a student would like to put forth their efforts in the right direction to augment the knowledge of functional grammar, he will certainly be able to achieve success in any competitive examination. And regarding the suggested books of reading, I would like to offer two important suggested books of reading. They are Contemporary English Grammar, Structures and Composition by David Green, High School English Grammar and Composition by René Martin. These two books were published a long time ago for the first time in the history of the world. But since their publication, the charm, glory and image of these books have not yet been lost because of the excellent content published in these books. So, all the aspirants of the competitive examinations are hereby requested to utilize these two books in order to boost up your confidence and augment your power of English and functional and competitive grammar in order to achieve success in your life. With these very few concluding remarks, I would like to take leave with all of you for today. Thank you very much. Thank you for it all.